Good morning and welcome to the holiday edition of the Great Green Home Show. We
Yoo-hoo.
hope you're all warm and happy and ready for some holiday cheer. We'd like to thank all of our listeners as we complete our 31st show, because by listening to the show and making it more popular, you, our listeners, have been, in large part, responsible for the creation of the first ever Great Green Expo on March 29th, 2008 at the Chase Riverfront Center. So without getting up out of your chair on Sundays and just by tuning in to 1450 WILM or going to WILM.com, you have made great things happen.
Absolutely.
So by simply listening to this radio show, you're casting your vote for green, and you make it possible for us to not only keep our message going out, but also have a huge gathering of the green contingent.
And enlarging of it.
And actually, absolutely.
People are jumping on
making it bigger
all the time.
So we feel privileged to be able to bring you this show every week, and it's our hope to entertain and deliver useful energy-saving tips, as we also try to give you the latest information available regarding all things green. Speaking of which, we have a lot of great green news coming out of the green technology and green product sectors. So if you haven't finished your holiday gift shopping, we may have some ideas for you. I'm Doug Hunt. Next to me is my co-host, Paul Hughes. Good morning, my large green elf. What's going on this holiday season?
A lot, my tiny red-nosed co-host. Where were you last night?
Well...
Okay. Let's check in on some of the holiday gifts here. Passage of the federal energy bill. Now you can laugh, Brooke. Okay. The CAFE standards are up to 35 miles per gallon. Woohoo! That's something of a minor plus. Pretty much the rest of our energy provisions in the bill were scuttled. A little disappointing on the eve of the Bali conference. Oh, yes, the good part. The gift. The gift is that most of the congressmen and senators who voted for those provisions in the bill that were scuttled, mostly green energy incentives, tax breaks, and subsidies were good, have vowed to press on and to bring it all back in the next session. So basically, these guys are going to keep going until we get these provisions that we desperately need passed.
Which is a good thing.
Yes, and the stocking stuffer is the watered-down bill was only passed by one vote, and this is the opposition in its last gasps, and it looks like a winner next year for passage.
Excellent.
But here is Santa's rant. Ho, ho, ho. It doesn't matter whether they pass CAFE standards.
By the way, what are CAFE standards?
That's your mileage, average mile per gallon per fleet. So Chevy's whole fleet of cars is going to need to be...
Average 35 miles a gallon or whatever
Right.
it is.
You can have a truck.
So you can have something that's doing 45 and something else that's doing 25.
Yeah, you're still going to be...
standard.
The joke of it is, it sounds great, but you're still going to be able to sell plenty of trucks that get 20, 22 miles
Now,
per
let me
gallon.
ask you this.
In 2019.
They're averaging those based on miles per gallon, but are they averaging those based on miles driven? Because if you're producing a big old heavy clunking truck that you're putting 70,000 miles a year on as opposed to a residentially used car.
It's a joke.
Visually.
It's a joke.
Okay.
We can say it. It's a joke.
All right.
Okay, so the peoples don't get it in D.C. That's not going to happen, and Santa knows why, because you aren't going to buy them. And this is where the power is. The Senate and the Congress and the President can pass all the legislation they want, or not pass any of the legislation we want. But America is waking up, and it's waking up quickly. We got a lot of listeners now. If you don't buy all of the gas-guzzling models that they want you to, and you do buy the plug-ins, the hybrids, the electric cars, the high-mileage cars, as fast as they come out, then that's what matters. And that is the only thing that matters. And pretty soon that will be all that the manufacturers will make, because that's all they can sell. America's stocking stuffer here is that you get to determine just exactly what the CAFE standard average is by what you buy. If we only put high mileage cars on the road, we change the standard ourselves. You are the market. You are the power. Don't get pushed around. You must be the change you wish to see in the world. Yes, I quoted Gandhi. They're clapping in the background.
Yay.
By the way, Delaware, Maryland, and PA senators were all on the right side of this bill, although Arlen Specter gets the anti-Green Grinch award this year, as always. Aside from him, we are proud of the others for voting for the energy provisions and in some cases against some of their colleagues. Happy New Year. We are confident that we will get this next year. Okay.
They'll get it right, I hope.
Right. Next, a big present wrapped in blue and green is that it looks like the PSC is going to vote that Delmarva sign an agreement with Blue Water Wind.
Actually.
And they hung it up
so
yesterday after I wrote this.
Right.
So it looks like the contract is close. I think some people who have been standing on the edges of it are waffling and kibitzing. And,
Now, I didn't get through the entire thing. Is there another? I mean, this thing's not dead, right?
No, not at all. It's not at all. They just put it on a shelf, and obviously there's some more negotiating. It keeps getting closer.
They don't want to make any decisions before the holidays, that's all.
Right. The stocking stuffer here is that eventually this is going to get done because it has to get done, and people will realize that the costs that aren't taken into account here, and I won't go on a large rant, of the health costs and the cost to the planet of having belching, carbon-producing pollutant utilities, those days are gone. We can no longer survive those days. So this is a matter of not whether or not they're going to do it. It's like, how are we going to divide this up kind of stuff, which is usual with government and industry.
Well, that makes sense, and it makes sense.
Okay, so lastly, closer to home, we find another gift under the Yuletide evergreen in terms of clean energy in the state of Delaware. The Sustainable Energy Utility, which one lawmaker called one of the General Assembly's most important actions this year, will be a nonprofit organization promoting the use of sustainable energy and subsidizing the cost of energy-efficient appliances and motor vehicles. Basically, they're going to give you some money for plug-ins. These guys are on the right side of it, as well as home and business-based renewable energy systems. Hopefully, we'll get some more money and some assistance for people who want to put geothermal, solar hot water, solar PV on their houses. So this is our state.
Where they can.
Yeah, our state's not waiting for the federal government to catch on to this. So we have a lot to be thankful for this year. A lot of great, outstanding.
All right. Listen, I don't want to beat it to death, but I'm still going to.
Go ahead.
The Great Green Expo on March 29th, 2008 at the Chase Riverfront Center. Green vendors, speakers, celebrities, cars, fun stuff for the kids, great information for the grown-ups, a guaranteed good time for all. Again, March 29th, 2008 at the Chase Riverfront Center. Put it down. Mark it in your calendar. This is a must-see. Before we get started, we need to thank our sponsors. Paul?
Thank you, CMI Solar Electric, for having the vision to stay with us. Energy Services Group, SunTrust Mortgage of Christiana, MyEcoAgent.com, and Option Insurance. You take it. I'm losing my voice.
I hear that, and we want to thank Mark Unruh, of course, who does all of our great intro extra music. And as always, you need to listen to Scott Burney's program on WVUD,
Absolutely.
91.3 FM on Fridays.
By the way, today, the green Christmas gift tip: give your gifts in reusable, recyclable cloth bags that you can be used for shopping and going to the grocery store. So by giving a gift within the gift of a bag, you actually are showing your friends what it is and how to use it. If they don't get it, then take it back and use it yourself.
Or regift it.
Right. They won't know that the bag was a gift. They just think it's a bag, and they don't understand. And now you get a free gift for yourself. How good is that? Doug?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
The content of the Great Green Home Show is solely the responsibility of the Environmental Communication Foundation and does not necessarily reflect the opinion of WILM, its sponsors, or Clear Channel Radio. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or use of the Great Green Home Show or its contents without written permission from the Green Fox, Paul Hughes, Sister Mary Chlorophyll, Father Seamus O'Toole, and the Environmental Communication is strictly prohibited.
Excellent. Where are we going next?
Tips.
Oh, great.
Always tips.
Sponsored by Energy Services Group. The top 10 Green Fox ideas for Christmas. Number 1, put a programmer or timer on your Christmas lights.
Absolutely outstanding.
Don't burn them all night long.
Correct. Yes,
Okay.
Yes, Brooke?
1 minute.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you were raising your hand. Paul, sorry.
That's all right. Use half the Christmas lights you normally do by spacing the lights farther apart.
Okay, you want to use LED lights where you can. They're not totally readily available yet, but they will be in the next couple of years, and they can be had.
Right. Save money by throwing a robust potluck Christmas party, and make sure that you set up carpooling for people who are farther away from your party. And speaking of being lit, make sure the designated driver isn't.
Right. BOGO lights. BOGO lights, buy one, get one lights. These are those solar-powered. Are they solar-powered?
Yes.
Sunnightsolar.com. SUNNIGHT solar.com. And letters to recovering soldiers sent before the 27th to We Support Your Recovery, care of the American Red Cross, P.O. Box 419, Savage, Maryland, 20763.
And we'll be right back.